We continue now at the top of Daf Lamed Hey Amud Aleph in Meseches Gittin. This is Gittin Daf 35a. On the previous Amud, the Mishnah said that when an almana collects her ksuba from the property of the Yisomim, she needs to take a shvua. And the Gemara asked, isn't that true when anyone collects from the property of Yisomim? And the Gemara now answers, we are specifically talking about almana because one might have thought mishum china akilu rabbanan gaba, because of chen, meaning to say that we want men to find favor in the eyes of women. So maybe we would have been more lenient by an almana, and we would not have required a shvua. Kamash malan. That's what the Mishnah is teaching us, that even by an almana, a shvua is required. Rashi says, Mishum chayna sheyehechein ha'anashim be'enei ha'anashim, that men should find favor in the eyes of women, meaning they're going to want to get married, they're going to be assured. Maybe you would think they want to be assured that they'll collect their ksuba, they don't need to take a shvua. Linasei lehem, so you might have thought that, and so that's what the Mishnah teaches, that we treat the almana the same as everyone else in this regard, just like anyone who's trying to collect from Yisomim needs to take a shvua. The same thing is true when it comes to an almana. And the Gemara continues at the two dots, Nimnu mila hashbiyah. The Mishnah said that then they refrained from giving the shvua to the almana. They would not let her take the shvua until Rebbe Gamliel came along, the Mishnah said, and Rebbe Gamliel had her take a neder in order to collect the ksuba. And the Gemara says, my time, why is it that they would not give the almana the shvua? If you're going to say it's because of what Rav Kahana said, Rav Kahana v'yamri lo Amar Rav Yehuda Marav, because Rav Kahana said, and some have the version that Rav Yehuda said that Rav said, there was an incident with an individual during a time of famine, shehifgid dinar zav eitzel almana, he deposited a dinar of gold by an almana, v'nachto bekad shel kemach, and she placed it in the jug with the flour, v'afa'aso b'pas, she ended up baking it into the bread, v'nasnaso la'ani, and then she gave it over to a poor person. Liyamim abab bal hadinar. So days later, the person who owned the dinar came. V'yamar lo, he said to her, havi li dinari, give me back my dinar. Amrle, she said to him, Yehenna sam hamaves be'echad mibaneh shel osa isha. The poison should poison one of the children of this woman, meaning she was giving herself a curse, she was taking an oath. If I had any benefit from your dinar. In other words, she said, I did not derive any benefit. There was nothing I did wrong here. Amru, they said, Lo hayu yamim muatim, it wasn't a short amount of time, meaning in a very short amount of time, at shemeis echad mibaneh, and one of her sons died, meaning the oath essentially took effect because she did benefit, as we'll see in a moment, she did benefit somewhat from that dinar. When the Chachamim heard about this incident, Amru, they said, Ma misha nishba be'emes kach hanishba al sheker alachas kama v'kama. If this happens to somebody who takes an oath and really says the truth, she said the truth in a sense, again we're going to see, but she said the truth that she didn't benefit from this dinar, and this is what happens to her. So somebody who swears falsely, certainly that's going to happen. And the Gemara says, "My time iyansha." So what is the reason she was punished? If the oath that she took was true, what was she punished for? And the answer was there was some benefit she got from this dinar, the ishtar shila makam dinar, because the dinar took up some space in the dough, and she would have had to use a little more flour, a little more dough in that particular loaf of bread that she gave to the ani. So the dinar did save her that small amount of money, and so therefore she did benefit from the dinar in some ways. And the Gemara continues, what does it mean that she swore truthfully? It doesn't mean she took an oath that was totally true, but she thought that she was taking an oath that was completely true. In her mind, she had not benefited at all from the dinar. And Rashi explains, Kamisha nishba be'emes da shogegasi, meaning the point over here is that she just made a mistake. But because the punishment for an oath is so strong, nimnu mila hashbiyah, so the Gemara is now suggesting maybe that's why they refrained from administering to her an oath. But the Gemara continues, imi shemha, if it's because of this incident that they stopped administering the oath to the almana because of the great punishment involved in taking a false oath, but ma'yiri almana, why is that true only by an almana? Afilu grushanami, even if the woman is a divorcee and she's trying to collect her ksuba, by the grusha also, they should not administer to her an oath. Why did Rabbi Zera say that Shmuel said, Lo shanu el almana, that this is only true by an almana? Aval grusha mashbianosa, but a grusha does take the oath. And the Gemara answers to that, Almana Shani by an Almana, it's different to Vahia Noah, to Katarcha Kamiyasmi, because she gives a certain benefit, because she's taking care of the Yisomim. So Asya Loruya Hetera, she might rationalize that she is allowed to collect the Ksuba even though she's already collected it. She's entitled to more money. And therefore, since there is this potential rationalization by an Almana, they stopped administering the oath to the Almana because they were afraid that she would take a false oath. And the Gemara continues, Amar Rav Yehuda, Amar Rav Yirmiyah bar Abba. Rav Yehuda says that Rav Yirmiyah bar Abba says, Rav u'Shmuel da'amri tarvayu, Rav and Shmuel both say, lo shanu ela bebezin. This is only true in bezin, when you're talking about an oath that's taken in the court. Aval chutz lebezin mashbiyan osa, but you could administer an oath to her outside of bezdin. But the Gemara says, Ini, is that really true? Rav lo magbi ksuba lar melasa. But Rav, he wouldn't collect the ksuba for an almana. He said that there was no way that she could collect the ksuba. And the Gemara says to that, Kasha, that is indeed difficult, because there really should have been a way, according to Rav, for her to collect the ksuba by taking an oath outside of Bezdin. Besura masnu hachi. In Surah, they learn the above Gemara exactly like we just learned it. But in Nahardoi, they teach it as follows. Amar Rav Yehuda, Amar Shmuel, that Rav Yehuda says that Shmuel says, meaning it's just a statement of Shmuel, it's not Rav u Shmuel da'amri tarvayu. Lo shanu ela bebezin, this halach is only true in Bezin, by an oath in Bezin. Aval chutz lebezin mashbiyan osa. But outside of Bezin, we would administer an oath to the almana. The Rav Amar Rav says, afilu chutz lebezin nami ein mashbiyan osa. Rav says, even outside of Bezin, we don't administer an oath to the almana. Rav l'taime, Rav is following his opinion. The Rav lo magbi ksuba la'ar melasa, because Rav does not administer an oath, or doesn't really do anything to allow a widow to collect her ksuba. But the Gemara says, why is there no option according to Rav? V'liadre v'ligvie. Why not just have her take the neder like our Mishnah? Our Mishnah has a suggestion that she takes a neder, that if she's not telling the truth, so she takes a neder not to get any benefit from whatever it is, whether it be mizonos, etc. Why not use the neder option of our Mishnah to allow her to collect the ksuba? And to that the Gemara says, B'shnei de Rav kili nidre. During the years of Rav, people did not take Nedarim seriously, and therefore, in Rav's opinion, a neder was not a serious option. And Rashi explains, Chutz lebezdin mashbiyan osa, outside of Bezdin they do give her an oath, sheshvuas hadayonin keshel Torah, because the shvuah that's given by the court, that's like a doraisa, v'noket sefer Torah b'yadeh, or tefillin, the person holds sefer Torah tefillin, umashbiya la b'shem, or b'kinei, they use the name of Hashem, kedei eshechan ba'avram, simna yodcha v'ashbiyacha b'Hashem, v'yonsha meruba. There's a great punishment if someone swears falsely when it comes to a shvuah that's taken in the court. The chutz lebezdin shvuah d'Rabbanan, but outside of Bezdin, that's a shvuah d'Rabbanan, b'kilas oror, that's a curse of oror, v'lo noket midi ve'enon shakal kach, the person isn't holding anything, it's not such a strong punishment, and that's why that shvuah, according to Shmuel, or according to the first version, according to Rav and Shmuel, can be administered to the almana. And the Gemara continues, Ahida asoy lekame de Rav Huna, there was a woman who came before Rav Huna. Amar lo, he said to her, Ma eved loch, what can I do for you? The Rav lo magbi ksuba lar melasa, because Rav would not collect a ksuba on behalf of an almana, on behalf of a widow. Amar le, so she said to him, Midi hu taim ela dilma nekitna midi michsubasi. The whole reason is because maybe I already collected the ksuba. But chaya Hashem tzavakos, by the life of God, im nesi miksubasi klum, I did not get any benefit yet from my ksuba. And so the Gemara continues, Amar Rav Huna says, Mo de Rav bekofetzes. Rav would admit in a situation where she jumps at the opportunity, and the almana takes the shvuah without Bezdin administering to her the shvuah. In that situation, if she does take the shvuah, she would be able to collect her ksuba, even according to Rav. And the Gemara continues, Ahida asoy lekame de Rav bar Rav Huna. There was a woman who came before Rav bar Rav Huna. Amar lo, he said to her, similarly, my avid loch, what can I do for you? De Rav lo magvi ksuba lar melasa, because Rav would not collect the ksuba on behalf of the widow. V'Abba Mari, and my master, my father, meaning to say Rav Huna, lo magvi ksuba lar melasa, he would not collect a ksuba on behalf of the widow. So Amar le, so she said to him, meaning she said back to Rav bar Rav Huna, Havli mizone, if that's the case, if you're not going to give me the ksuba, so at least support me, give me the mizonos. Amar lo, so he said to her, Mizoni nami laslach, you don't get mizonos either. The Amar Rav Yehuda Amar Shmuel, because Rav Yehuda said that Shmuel said, Hatovas ksubasa bebezdin, once a woman claims her ksuba in Bezdin, ein la mizonos, she's no longer entitled to mizonos, and the idea is that at the point in time she is claiming her ksuba, that shows she's intending on remarrying, on marrying somebody else, and at that point in time, she loses her entitlement to the mizonos. And the Gemara continues, Amar le, she said to him, to Rav bar Rav Huna, Avchul, of course, his chair should be overturned. That was a language of a curse against Rav bar Rav Huna. Kebeitrei Avdali, he's followed two opinions against me, meaning to say he's followed the opinion of Rav, not to collect a ksuba on behalf of an almana, and he's also followed the opinion of Shmuel, that since I've claimed my ksuba, I don't get mizonos. Havchul, of course, v'tirtsua. So he turned over the chair and he stood up, the point being he took it literally to try to avoid the curse. But nevertheless, lo ifrik michosha, he did not escape from weakness, meaning to say that the curse did take effect at some level. And the Gemara continues, Amar le Rav Yehuda le Rav Yirmiyah bira. Rav Yehuda said to Rav Yirmiyah bira, Adra bebezin v'yashba chutz lebezin. Let the almana take a neder in bezin, let her take an oath outside of bezin, meaning let her collect her ksuba. V'leisi kala, let the word go out that I'm allowing the almana to collect her ksuba. V'leipol b'udnei, let that word reach my ears. D'ba'ino kiyechi David b'maisa, I want the word to get out. That way we can correct this situation and allow an almana to collect her ksuba. And Rashi explains, "V'leipol b'udni chafetz ani sheyishma hakol bi'ozni shehug b'ksuba b'yamei." I want that the word should reach my own ears, meaning that the word goes out, that everyone should hear about the fact that the ksuba was collected during my days. Devo'inon diyavid b'maisa. I want this action to take place. Kishmuel Rebbe, meaning I want to follow Shmuel, my Rebbe. Lahotzi milibon shatalmid of shal Rav. I want to take away from what the students of Rav think. Kagon Rav Huna, like Rav Huna, Beis Dino and his court. Shalohayu magbin ksubas almana. They did not collect ksubas on behalf of the widow. I want to make sure that the word goes out that I did collect the ksuba on behalf of the widows. And the Gemara continues, Gufa, returning to what we said above. Amar Rabbi Zeir, Amar Shmuel. Rabbi Zeir said that Shmuel said, Lo shanu ela almana. This halacha is only true by an almana. Aval grusha mashbiyan osa, but by a grusha, by a divorcee, we would administer the oath to her. And the Gemara continues, Ugrusha da'adra lo, but let's say by a grusha she just takes a neder. Is that not good enough? V'sholchu mitam, but they sent a message from over there. Ech plonisa bas ploni kabila skita min yoda da'achi bar hidya. A certain woman, she received a get from Achi bar hidya, the miskari ayamori, who's also called ayamori. V'nadart v'asard peirosha ba'olam alon. She took a neder and she promised that she had not received any of the ksuba, and if she had received any of the ksuba, she would forbid for herself all the fruits of the world. The lo kabilas miksubasa. Again, she took this neder, assuring everyone that she did not collect her ksuba. Ella, the only thing that she collected was glufkara echad, one glufkara, which is a coat, the Sefer Tehillim, and one book of Tehillim, the Sefer Tehillim echad, one book of Tehillim, the Sefer Iyov, one book of Iyov, umemsholos beluim, and a Sefer Mishlei, and all of these svarim, they were beluim, they were worn out, and we will continue with this discussion in the next video on Daf Lamed Hey Amud Beis.